And this one, I'm going to talk about a weird deal that happened to me. I try to make vlogs that are somewhat useful and have information. I'm going to talk about this thing called Saturday Night Palsy that happened to me, and what it is. And I'd never heard of such a thing. Most people, until it happened to me, it has Saturday Night Palsy. It's an actual thing. People who, especially people who drink a lot, that's how it got its name. But it's pretty common. It's common and uncommon. And people who drink and use drugs a lot and tend to pass out can have this happen. And for me, I've had a rare neurological disease for a number of years, and I was on really heavy doses of narcotics and all benzodiazepines and all that stuff for years, and I passed out in a chair one night. I was mixing something, and to get quickly, if you've had it and you're Googling around, I usually don't tag my vlogs. I'll put tags on this one and name it Saturday Night Palsy or something, because it was weird. But the 97% chance it'll go away, like, 100% round. But it might take up to a year. It takes some patience. So anyway, I'd taken a bunch of morphine and had been working, and about 6 or 8 other meds I was on. And at the time, I don't do any of that stuff now, but I did then. This is like 10 years ago. And I was sitting in a chair, and it happens. It's a radial nerve compression injury. I was sitting in a chair, and I was exhausted, and I decided I'd just take a little nap in the chair, and I fell asleep. I didn't want to go in and deal with my girlfriend, who was less than friendly at the time. So I thought, well, I'll just take a nap here. But I fell asleep in the arm of the chair, and I really fell asleep. I was on my arm, and the arm of the chair was biting into my arm here. And when normally you're supposed to get a numb sensation, a tingling sensation that tells you wake up and move. This is not getting fed with blood and oxygen and all of that. But I was so passed out. I was there for hours. And anyway, when I got up, my arm was just hanging at my side, numb. I mean, it was crazy. I'll try to make this one. I'm already 3 minutes in. But it was crazy. That was in January. And so at 9 o'clock in the morning, I got up, went into bed. I'd been there several hours. I thought, well, I'll sleep this off. It'll get better. It was numb, and I tried swinging it around. Nothing. My arm would just hang like that, my hand and wrist and arm would just hang. So anyway, within 24 hours, like it scared me because it didn't come back. My arm was completely numb. I couldn't hold anything, raise it at all. And I finally went to the emergency room, and after some cajoling around, the doctor, a neurologist, finally came in. He said, "Oh yeah, you've got Saturday Night Palsy." And so I thought, okay. I mean, it's like I'd never heard about it. It's just astounding, So anyway, that was in January, like I said, and he said they gave me a brace to put my whole arm in, and something to kind of prop up my wrist. And anyway, I'm a guitar player and a multi-instrumentalist, and owned a recording studio at the time, so I was, it concerned me. So that was January. Month after month, it kind of improved in the first 6 weeks, but not really. I couldn't hold a guitar pick. I started duct taping a spoon to my hand where I could strike the guitar and play. And I saw a guy do an entire concert do that way one time. I thought, well, that's an awesome tone and sound, and I can do that. But any picking is out. So it was a drag. So that was in January, and about 8 months later, it really didn't improve. And what I did was I trained a lot of martial arts when I was a kid, and one thing you can do is use heat and massage an area. So what I did was it wasn't improving. And I also quit taking all central nervous system depressant drugs. Anything, alcohol. I didn't drink at the time, but I quit. I tapered off of every medication I was on. I was bound and determined to get my arm back. And I'm already 5'15". Anyway, what I eventually did was also B vitamins, all the vitamins, but especially powering down the B vitamins. So around 5 to 7 days after I started that, really heavily massaging the area with a hot tub with hot water, or a heating pad, but deeply for hours massaging the area. It started to come back, and within about 20 days, my arm's been killing me lately because it's cold and there's a residual injury in the nerve here. But that's what reminded me of it. But it was scary. I saw one guy had a vlog, kind of a country boy, and it is scary. I mean, it was serious. My girlfriend at the time told me later she was going to leave me because she didn't want to be with a guy who was so crippled. I just couldn't. I bought a brand new, $50,000 Dodge diesel truck to haul around a fifth wheel trailer I'd bought, and I couldn't shift. I couldn't shift it. I had all this stuff duct taped to my hand to make things in life work. But this one country guy was like, my arm don't work anymore. I got drunk last Saturday, and I can't move my arm. They'd given him these crazy exercises and stuff. But anything, when I trained martial arts, I learned I got hurt all the time. You do, and half of that is healing. And I had a great instructor, and he would always, make us heal ourselves up and to get, back in the fight, basically. And you need to bring healing blood, the area that can bring in new material, and white blood cells can bring in new stuff and take out old stuff, cells, and regenerate. Nervous injuries are tricky, but anyway, Saturday night palsy. It's a mind blower. It really, but it scared me. It took about 10 months total to get it back where I could move my arm again, and all kinds of mayhem ensued. But it was a scary time, and there's not really that much about it, information anywhere. The odds are that it's going to recover 100% over time, but I noticed not taking any drugs at all, especially central nervous system depressants, powering down B vitamins and multivitamins, massaging the area with hot water, and I think it was the B vitamins mostly. They're calcium channel and neurosystem conductor aids. They help the electrochemical system of your neurology function more efficiently. But it, pretty shortly after I started taking those, I started getting some results. But it was scary, and for a guy like me, I mean, it was, it was the kind of deal where I kind of had to change. I couldn't do anything, as you know, if you had it. So I'm gonna name this one and put tags on it. But rest assured, in 97% of the cases, it does go away. We could leave some residual pain. And the quicker you get to a neurological injury by massaging it with heat and really work, for hours, work in that area, and eat right, sleep right, don't drink or take any drugs anymore, it'll go away a lot quicker, because I don't think mine would have come back anytime soon, nearly as soon as it did. At like I said, 8 months or so, it had gotten as good as it was going to get on its own, it seemed like. And they, with neurological injuries, doctors really can't predict too much, except, do the right thing and hope for the best, kind of a deal. So Saturday night palsy, it's an actual deal. And, if that kind of thing's happening to you, it took me a few more years to sort of look deeper into my life and realize, maybe I'm, powering down the drugs, a little, made me examine my whole life and realize it's a pretty good symptom that you may be addicted to drugs or alcohol or both. But anyway, it'll probably go away. B vitamins, eat right, sleep right, massage the area, and could take up to a year though, and it's a drag. It really is a drag. So there you go, Saturday night palsy, my experience with it.